When playing against Pinhead, survivors must find the box and solve it to prevent the chain hunts from slowing everyone down. This sounds really simple in practice, but in theory it can get really messy. Let's go over some tips on how to avoid these situations. At the start of the game, if you're the first survivor being chased, try to take the killer away from the cube. If you're not chased, you don't need to solve the cube right away, you have quite a bit of time. Instead, wait for Pinhead to commit to a chase, and when the chase is about to be done and the timer gets a little bit closer, you can go and solve it. If Pinhead teleports to you, that's great, as this also resets the timer and takes pressure away from your teammates. And if he's too busy to teleport, that's great too, the cube is now solved and you don't need to worry about it for a little while. If the chain hunt timer hasn't started yet, you can pick up the cube and solve it right away, no problem. But if the chain hunt has already begun, you need to be very careful, as you will be harassed by a multitude of chains while trying to complete it. The safest way to solve it is to wait for 3 chains to try to hit you, dodge all of them, and after the third one, then start to do it. Where you solve the box is also an important factor. If you try to solve the box in a corner,
You opened it. I came.
you'll be hard to find and interrupt, but you'll be very vulnerable if he teleports. On the other hand, if you solve it somewhere very high up, you might be an easy target, but if he teleports, he might end up in a bit of an awkward spot that could give you a chance. Try to do the one that makes the most sense considering how vulnerable you are or not. And do keep in mind though that if you're the last survivor standing and everyone else is dying, dead or hooked, you don't actually need to solve or find the box. You will not be affected as long as you're the last survivor left. Another situation where solving the box is not a super high priority is in the end game. Here, you can totally open exits and the chain hunts themselves don't really stop you from doing anything important other than maybe cleansing a totem. Yeah, if you have to cleanse a totem, it will be pretty much impossible. You need to solve the box first. And one last fact, perhaps the most important one of them all, is that if you're in Deep Wound and you go down to your bleed, the game thinks that you solved the box and it totally counts, and yeah, I don't know why it does that.